Hey everyone, it's May 18th, and that means that if today is your birthday, you share it with Harvey Carignan, a serial killer known as the Want Ad Killer, who murdered at least 5 women beginning in 1949, and that is him right up there. Carignan was born in 1927 to a single mother who married and gave birth to a sibling in 1930. At that same time, he was abused by a babysitter, and he soon developed behavioral problems and was a bedwetter until his teenage years, causing him to be passed off on various relatives who would send him to another when they got sick of caring for him. He was also a small child, often being bullied by his classmates in North Dakota. At the age of 11, he was caught stealing and sent to reform school, where he remained until he was legally an adult, and reportedly was subjected to abusive treatment by the staff. While there, he was diagnosed with a rare neurological disorder that caused him to suffer from muscle spasms in his arms, legs, and face. Shortly after the conclusion of World War II, Carignan turned 18 and enlisted in the Army, being stationed in Alaska. In 1949, he raped and killed a woman, and attempted to do the same to another less than 2 months later. Luckily, his second victim escaped, and he was caught and convicted of murder, being sentenced to death by hanging. An appeal went all the way to the United States Supreme Court, who overruled the death sentence due to violations of the McNabb rule, which deals with confessions obtained after a long period of detention. He was transferred to Alcatraz, spending 8 years on the island before being paroled in 1960. Just 4 months after his release, he was caught attempting to rape a woman in Minnesota, and was locked up again for 4 years, and when released that time, he was caught engaging in a robbery, getting locked up again until 1968. While behind bars, he obtained a GED and got married in 1969, but his wife divorced him due to physical abuse, and he married someone else the next year. It was then that this career criminal became the Want Ad Killer. Carignan began placing want ads for employees at a gas station he was managing, and when a teen girl showed up to apply for the job, he sexually assaulted and killed her with a hammer. He also kidnapped a slew of women and girls, forcing them to perform sexual favors, and usually let them go, but sometimes killed them. He was seen picking up a young woman who wound up dead from blows to the head, and killed a woman who he had been dating, again with a hammer. In 1973, he was arrested for beating his wife, which finally caused her to leave him, and he shacked up with another woman in Minnesota. Dating a serial killer never turns out well, and she ended up dead after a fight with Carignan. His crimes spanned between Minnesota and Washington State, with police in both locations coordinating their efforts to track down the brutal killer. Carignan's survivors began picking his photos out of lineups, and he was brought in by the authorities in Minnesota. When he was captured, police found a map with 181 red circles on it, many of which were known to be locations where women had disappeared or been assaulted. Carignan was convicted and sentenced in 1975 to 150 years in prison for 5 murders and numerous sexual assaults, though he very likely committed many more, and at the age of 95, he is one of the oldest prisoners in America. If this is your birthday, have a great day. Drop me a comment so I can wish you a happy birthday. If you know somebody whose birthday it is today, send them this video so I can find out all about their birthday twin. And to Harvey Carignan, I say, happy birthday, you bastard.